The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
3, 2, 1.
I'm a pro DJ and I've been spinning the decks like mad, but I haven't had a chance to spin a yarn about
mythical creatures.
At school, we've been learning a lot of pointless dribble. Finally, I get to learn about
mythical creatures.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
mythical creatures.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy back for another happy hour. Today, our starting point is mythical creatures, Ham, and people have gone to hamishandy.com/topics, added their thoughts, and they've helped build the People Show today.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Come in, Fax Man. I am sort of known as the Fax Man of this show. I do like to kick off each show with a fact.
The Fat Man.
Fat Man's here. Why am I so fat? I've been eating encyclopedias, and some of the nutritional value of the encyclopedia has seeped into my brain, and that's where I've got this fact from, Andy.
All right, fact me up.
I just have a hunch that 2013 was the first year since 1933, that's 80 years, where there hadn't been a reported sighting of the Loch Ness Monster.
Really?
Last year, no sighting. Nessie went cold. Nessie went to ground.
Well, it's pretty
even
cold
further.
in there.
She's pretty cold usually. It's
So 4 degrees there.
so it's even more off the grid
So
than
now,
normal.
This is a little bit annoying because...
No, it's not. It's a fact.
No,
Don't
not
be
you.
annoyed by knowledge.
Not you doing the facts. That's great.
Thank you.
But I mean, a huge town is there. We've been there.
Yeah.
And it's there's obviously a huge amount of tourism. People travelling there hoping to see Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Now, that's bad news for them.
Let's not confuse this with, like, someone seeing a panda in the wild or, like, you know, seeing an endangered animal.
Yeah.
It's a mythical creature. It just means that of all the years, I guess everyone, because I reckon for the people that think they've seen the Loch Ness Monster, every year you'd submit a sighting to keep it alive, and within the community they would have just thought someone else would lodge one for that year.
Yeah. Remember when we were there was a guy with the longest beard on record.
Unbelievable.
He could have perhaps been the first person to see the Loch Ness.
Sometimes when he went for a swim, his beard would trail up behind him and people would think that was the Loch Ness Monster.
His theory by the end of it was, because he'd been looking for it for 40 years, he said, it must be dead now. Maybe this fact that you just read,
Maybe it died last year.
it gives more weight. Yeah, it died.
But I have seen one this year, though, so he's back.
Okay, he's back. It's the happy hour. Mythical creatures is today our topic.
Ando, unicorning. Ever heard of it as a term? If you're unicorning someone?
No, like is it a...
It's a term.
It's a term, not in fairy tales where you go off.
I don't know how you would unicorn someone in a fairy tale, unless you've got a unicorn to gore them to death.
Well, maybe you have a potion to turn them into a unicorn, and you unicorn.
I suppose they could. Very specific potion for it to become a verb.
Yeah, true. But anyway, no, I haven't.
No, I mean, well, unicorn's a fascinating creature because I don't know why we're so obsessed with unicorn. It's just a horse with a horn on its head, isn't it?
Yeah, but
so funny how we
normally
think
you're worried about the back legs kicking you if a horse is coming at you.
Yeah, I'd still probably be more scared of the back.
Well, imagine a rhinoceros with no horn. Not as scary.
No, it's a hippo, the most vicious animal of all time.
Yeah, I know, but still not as scary.
It's not technically a hippo.
You can't just go saw off a horn from a rhinoceros.
Building a hippo this weekend. That's not how you build one. You can't just cut a horn off. And well, here's the thing, though. Unicorning is, because it's a mythical animal, a term that I only just found out about, where if someone, it's written in, it's been put forth by a listener of the show, and they say it happens a lot at their uni. And they claim it to be a secret female term. And it's where if there's a hot guy around campus at uni, she will, look at him on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but it's different to stalking. It's not just.
Very similar to stalking.
It's not just. I mean, great lengths are gone to here to give us the legal definition. Okay. It's not just your standard social media stalking, because what you do is you glean a whole bunch of information from this person and then pretend that a friend of yours told you the information about them. So you and I are a couple of girls.
Okay.
We're on the lawn at uni. Mm-hmm. We see Jensen, the stud, walk by. I go, oh, you know what my mate told me about Jensen? Last year he went to Coachella.
Okay.
in the States.
Cool. It sounds like the kind of thing Jensen might do. He's such
Now,
a hunk.
you go to me,
Yeah.
wow, Michelle, she's cool because
Yeah.
she knows Jensen. I don't just go, I looked at Jensen online and I stalked him because I wasn't doing anything except eating barbecue
Okay, so
shapes
it's-
all night by myself in my study.
So it's a way of looking cool in front of your
Yeah,
peers
but I mean,
rather than
you're-
to try and pick up Jensen.
You're unicorning them because to you he's a mythical animal that only exists online.
Yeah,
and you sort
right.
of chase him through the wilderness and, you
Yeah.
find a rainbow-coloured poo here and there, but you never actually catch the unicorn.
Well, I was impressed that you knew so much about Jensen, even though you had never met him. So,
But you don't know that I haven't met him because I've just got friends of friends that have...
yeah, right.
We're in the same circles. That's what I give you by unicorning. So, not a bad thing for you to do to a certain DJ Havana Brown.
No.
AKA Andy's Jensen. Because you've never talked to her, have you?
Yes, I've talked to her plenty of times. She's been on the show.
Wow. Has she?
Yeah.
Have we interviewed her?
Well, you interviewed her, and I think we've had her on separately. To
I
that
took her on a
many years
date
ago.
as a substitute for you because
We
you
also
couldn't make it.
one day I actually was sat behind her on
You
the
met her
plane.
at a nightclub, didn't you?
I did meet her out one night.
Sniffed her hair.
No, I didn't.
You can tell from the photo. You can. There's a certain look you pull when you're... I mean,
hair
she's a bit
sniffing
shorter
mode.
than you, but you're trying to inhale quite a waft of the old Pantene laced head of DJ Havana Brown.
No, not true.
What does she smell like?
I don't know.
Or don't remember.
So
You did sniff her, but you forgot.
I didn't sniff her. I would have been sniffing because that's what someone does in an area. As in,
This is amazing.
as in breathing.
You said sniffing. You said sniffing. You said it like it was a normal impulse to do around a girl. There we go.
No.
Scoop. And
It's another word for breathing through your nose.
Sniffing is not breathing through your nose.
what I
Anyway,
was
if you've
doing.
just joined us, we started talking about unicorns, and Andy admitted it that when he hugged DJ Havana Brown for a photo, he sniffed her.
I did not. It's the happy hour. Ham. Mythical Creatures is the starting point for today's show, and this one came in from Happy Chappy Chris Jones. We applaud anyone who's building the show with us.
Please.
Mythical show. To whom it may concern, I do not believe there's such thing as a golden watch.
Look, guys, gold-coloured watches exist. People throw this around all the time. There are only 100 in existence. They are real. We were able to secure 100 from the mythical... the place where they were forged was certainly incredible. They're forged in a volcano. That has since erupted, and you'll never be able to forge another gold-coloured watch. So
Yeah.
there's only 100 of them. Forged in a mythical way, but very much real on the face of the earth. They're happy hour gold-coloured watches. They're the best thing you can ever own.
Yep.
Up to and including children, if you consider, if
you're lucky
if
enough.
you interpret having a child as owning it, which sometimes I have done. And that's it. Look, they're the greatest thing you can have. They're not mythical. They're very real.
Well, Chris goes on to say there's pictures on the website, but they seem to be forged photoshops just to create buzz about the myth. This is not
How do we put this to bed?
not true, and it seems like the only way to prove to Chris that the watches are real is to give him one.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
So
Now, there you go. Yeah,
Chris,
Chris,
well
you can
done.
have a watch, then
can have
that
a
proves to you
gold-coloured
that
watch.
it's real, and you'll get it in the mail. A watch is on its way to you. And
hang on, there's a call coming through.
Oh, yeah.
But remember, you can call us anytime 13 10 60.
Tony, how you going, mate?
Oh, hey guys, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Great. Good on you, Tony.
Welcome, Tony. What do you want to
Hey,
say?
yeah, I was just listening to your show, and I wondered if that guy that emailed you, Chris, what if he was just saying the watches are fake so that you'd give him a real gold-coloured watch?
Oh, you mean like a trick?
Do you think he's trinking us, Tony?
Yeah, well, that's what it sounded like from us listening anyway.
Do you know what, Tony? I reckon you might be right. And we are so lucky to have listeners like you watching our back like that. You
Yep.
know what? Here's what we're going to do, Ando.
That was a close one, yeah.
No watch for Chris. Tony, you've got the watch. You've got Chris's watch,
Great-
Tony, for
great
being such
idea.
a good listener of the show and for looking out for us.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, well done. And justice prevails.
that
Ham.
feels good.
Actually, one more caller's coming in before we go to a
okay.
song. Mary, are you there?
Hey guys, just listening into the show, do you think maybe Tony was playing you for a watch there?
What do you mean?
Do you think Tony wanted a watch the whole time?
A second trick, Mary.
Yeah, maybe Tony and Chris worked together to sting you guys there. That's what it sounded like to us listening anyway.
Yes. No, you might be right, Mary. We
right.
did leave ourselves open to that.
Cancel their watches.
Yeah, their watches are off. And guess what, Mary? You've got yourself a watch.
Good on you, Mary.
Oh wow, thanks guys.
Pleasure.
Oh, hang on a sec. Russell's called in. Russell.
Guys, do you really trust Mary?
No, we don't, Russell. Good point. Cancelling Mary's watch. Now
Yep.
you've got the watch, Russell. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
That's a pleasure. Janine's also on the line. Janine, are you there?
How about nobody gets a watch?
Good on you, Janine. And you know what? Only a true admirer of the sanctity of a gold-coloured watch would tell us not to give any watches away, lest we give one to the wrong person. And you know what? It's because of that that I think, Janine, you've got yourself a watch because you didn't want anyone. You didn't want any phonies to get the watch.
Congratulations, Janine.
Thank you.
Janine,
Yes?
you're not the first caller, Tony. Are you putting on a girl's voice to try and get a watch?
No?
Sounds a bit like
yeah,
Tony
it
doing a
does,
girl's voice,
absolutely.
Janine.
No watches for anyone.
Do you know what? A
then.
ban on all watches.
Oh, can I have Coldplay tickets at least?
Oh, Tony.
No.
Yeah, no, you
We can't.
can.
No, we can't.
Oh, we got some staff allocation we can give away. No, you keep tricking us. We're too kind to trick us. Nothing for anyone. It's the official policy of the show. Of all the mythical creatures around these days, you feel like dragons are making a huge comeback, mostly because of
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Absolutely. Would you say that vampires are a bit annoyed about that?
I would say that vampires are rapidly beginning to look like the happy pants of the mythical creature world.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you'd be
Fun in the 90s.
silly to have a laugh at
Yeah.
and with and responsible for one moment of pop culture
Yep.
stardom, but not here to stay.
And werewolves had a little sneak peek after vampires, but not nearly as big. But you're right, dragons.
Yeah, werewolves really came in off the coattails of vampires, didn't they? Very much Scottie Pippen to the Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
For those that remember their basketball in the 90s.
Yeah, and if you're going off,
You can't do an alley-oop without someone passing it to you, and a lot of the time for Michael Jordan that was Scottie Pippen.
and if you were to use a boy band analogy, it's kind of the second best person in the group that goes off to try a solo album, but obviously
Probably
werewolf.
Nile in one day. That was werewolves for a little while.
Yeah.
Dragons, though, they're back, and they're doing very well at the moment. Everybody loves Game of Thrones. We all know that sooner or later the dragons will, terrify the people of the Seven Kingdoms. The people that have read the books actually know what's going to happen. You and I, very much bandwagon jumpers, came late, have no idea about what's going on in the books, therefore love the TV show. Here's a guy that I would not like to be in this day and age. St. George. Wasn't his whole thing that he killed the last dragon?
Yes.
And came back into town, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well done,
Well done.
You've saved us." Can you
I think it was a
imagine?
bigger applause than that, actually.
It wasn't sarcastic applause. Oh, you killed a dragon so hard.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this day and age how much Peter would go to town on him? Imagine killing the last of any animal,
Oh,
and not
sorry,
only
yeah,
doing
the
it,
animal activists.
PETA.
Oh, no, but hang
Mate,
on.
they're not. You can't tell me they'd be happy about
No,
it.
I reckon.
No, they wouldn't.
I reckon Peter wouldn't have too much of a.
If it was ethically slain.
if an issue. If dragons, for instance, Godzilla, right?
Yep.
Godzilla wanders into, I think, New York
Do
City.
you know what?
in the
I
new
reckon
film,
Peter would have an issue if you killed Godzilla.
But he's smashing them joints up.
He's an animal. It's not ethical to nuclear blast him.
No.
He
I think that
it would go against their
wouldn't stand-
charter. It's people for the ethical treatment of animals.
I know, but he's
You
not
can-
really ethically treating us.
That's not the
What are we
point.
meant to
We
do, sit
can't
down
tit
with
for
God-
tat him.
We have
Because then
to.
you know better than him.
But we can't reason
He's a
with
wild
God.
animal. Godzilla's a wild animal. He's
I
just
know.
doing what comes naturally to him. He didn't expect us to build cities.
Okay,
He's a
if-
scared animal. That's what Peter would tell you. I'm
God-
just telling you what they...
Godzilla
You wouldn't have Peter.
has killed.
Yep.
Say if Godzilla's
He's killed millions.
Yeah, he's killed millions of people.
Look, there's blood on his claws. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. But
And you think Pamela
It says it
Anderson
in
or
their
whoever the
rules.
activist is for Peter will be
it
going...
says it in their rules that you have to treat them ethically. Unfortunately,
Have you got all the
detonating
rules?
a nuclear device on an animal's head is rarely ethical
Maybe there is, at the bottom of the rules, a little asterisk.
for mythical animals. Yeah. By the way, historically, though, we fully support St. George's actions because that dragon was killing the townsfolk. I just don't think you would get props in this day and age for coming back into town and going, guys, I've killed the last of an animal on Earth.
Well, you know what I thought you were going to say when you
Name a bank after me.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought you were going to say when you brought this up?
Right.
Is if this dragon comes back and starts killing everyone again, everyone's going to turn to St. George. And if he didn't actually do
You're
it.
full of crap, mate.
Yeah.
I reckon that was just a big lizard's head. I don't think that head did shrink in the wash on the way back. I think you just brought back a lizard's head.
So much great correspondence at hamishandy.com. People helping build the show. Time for top 3 mails.
Number 3.
Wow, we have not done that for a long time. I was so shocked by that computer sound effect. And this has come in from Happy Lassie Michelle. I promised you evidence of a mythical creature. I now deliver upon that of my promise.
Wow.
In a cave in Ireland, she tells us, scientists believe what they and many other scientists also believe to be some real unicorn bones in Ireland. Now, the thing that interests me about finding a partial unicorn skeleton is if you don't have the horn, you've found a horse.
Number 2.
You really need to. I mean, I'd be happy just with a bit of the nose and the horn and no other bones.
Yeah. Hey, continuing the unicorn theme.
Yeah.
How's this? From Happy Lassie Freya.
What have we got?
She had a closer look at the United Kingdom's coat of arms.
Don't tell me.
The unicorn features.
It's on there.
The
Interesting
unicorn
that-
is on. So it's the lion on the left-hand side holding up the coat of arms.
Or the unwinged griffin.
And a unicorn on the right-hand side.
A horned horse.
Of the two, which one do you reckon is chained up on the coat of arms?
Don't tell me they've chained up a lion and they're letting a unicorn run free.
No, they're letting the lion run through. Chain them both up.
No, chain up. I know we're getting in trouble with Peter on this show a little bit here, but if you do catch a unicorn, chain it up.
Yes. So you reckon it was more worry that they mightn't get another one?
I think the artist has probably come up with it and gone, oh my God, unicorn. And then it's just drawn in a chain instinctively because
if
you
you've got
should chain
one,
up an
lock that
you
thing
should
down.
If you find a mythical animal, you chain it up.
Number 1.
Sorry. I know that sounds rough, but it's just so
in a nice way,
can
like
get to it.
lead. We should say lead. Put a lead on it.
I mean, if you've got Godzilla, though, we've covered off Godzilla too much.
Chain him down.
Starry sends into us at a class party the other day. Her and her classmates were talking about ghosts. There was the typical stories, haunted houses, etc., etc. But then there was a girl in her class, she says, whose mum is a masseuse and told us about a ghost in her house. There's a ghost in the massage room that will sometimes massage the clients as well. So the clients go, oh, don't...
Hang on.
You would assume, I'm extrapolating, because Starry goes, well, I can't wait for a visit. But you'd assume, so the mum's massaging away at the home studio. Yeah. And then the clients said something like, oh, you're really digging into my calf there. And the mum's like, I never touched your calf. So the ghost, it sounds like the kind of thing I would make up to be like, whoa, it's a bit fresh. I didn't touch you, sir.
Exactly, you've been massaging my bottom a bit too much.
Sir, I've been reading the paper. I've been sitting in the corner. I don't know who's touched you, but I should warn you, there was a man that lived here in the 1800s who was known to have quite the wandering hand.
Very frisky fingers.
Who now does come in from time to time and massage. I should have warned you at the top. It only happens when you're face down, though.
It's the happy hour. End of a Friday, Ham, which means you and I have to catch up. We've been trying to.
Haven't we?
But we keep singing along with the song.
And all the ads.
Yeah.
Some of which are our favourite ads
Exactly.
that are currently getting a spin on radio.
So I guess we should just quickly do it now.
Yeah, you're right.
Over Jack.
can sniff from a longer distance if you're in a room with a woman. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of hat.
Yeah.
And so people would come in and say, why are you wearing the hat? And I'd have to explain to them.
You just look like a jazzy dunce, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to explain to them that, it's Maz's birthday. And then that got boring because everyone obviously told me to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So I just went with no reason. So now I'm just a guy that wears a party hat on a Friday afternoon.
Party guy. Better than being a sniffer. Ando. You know how celebrities and stuff will bring out colognes and fragrances?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, DJ Havana Brown's bringing one out. And I was just wondering if we could get you, I'm financing it.
Yeah.
It's called Scent of Ibiza. And could we get you on the poster just with your trademark sniffing face and a caption's coming out of your mouth that just says sniff the diff?
Why sniff the diff?
Like the difference between having it on or off. Could we get sniff the diff?
No. Talk to my manager.
He's
Maybe.
my manager. We share the same manager.
No, we'll talk to him.
He said yes. Mark Clemens said yes. No, you did.
I don't think he would have. What price did he get for me?
$20.
Really?
Just for your
But I've
catchphrase.
never done an endorsement.
That's why we managed to get so much.
That's all we've got time for this happy hour. Thank you for being with us, everybody. HamishAndy.com for anything your babies. The podcast is there as well. Thank you for helping us build the People Show. We'll catch you next week.
I'll scratch you later, and he'll sniff you later.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.